Happy holidays, Gage into Chaos. Unless you're watching this after the holidays, in which case, happy Tuesday. I don't know why I'm banking on you watching it on a Tuesday, but I am. Let's get the show started. Today we're going to be talking about everything you want to know about the Kindle Vella. We're going to be answering a lot of questions that I see coming up quite frequently between authors and readers, and I'm going to be dispelling a lot of the myths and rumors I've been seeing that just aren't true. If you find this information useful, please hit like and subscribe. Look me up on social media. I always love chatting with everyone. I had a couple of new people from the last video hit me up on Instagram, and I really enjoyed having a conversation with them. I love making new friends, so hit me up. Hit me up, friends. Hit me up. We will have fun. It'll be so much fun. We're 4 months in now, and a lot of information has come out. We're finding out more and more every day, and I think it's time for a refresh on what we've learned about the platform, where it's going, and what we're going to be doing next. Before we get into some of that news, I want to dispel a couple of myths and rumors I've been hearing going around a lot, some gripes that I just don't agree with. The number one thing that I keep hearing quite frequently on other people's YouTube channels, on author pages, everywhere, is that the only people who are successful on the Kindle Vella are people who were already established and brought in their own audience. That's just simply not true. For example, I'm doing quite well on the platform, and I'm brand new. E.A. Blackwell had the #1 story on there for quite a while, and it consistently stayed within the top 10 until it was completed, and now her second series is flying up the charts. She's brand new. Callie Chase, Callie Thomas, Naomi Alt, just to name a few. These are people who are brand new authors who took the Kindle Vella platform by storm and are making it their own. In fact, I would argue that the Kindle Vella is the best platform to be on right now if you're a new author. It's a great place to establish yourself and get visibility that you just can't get anywhere else. But it's also not magic. It's not just going to land readers in your lap. Which brings me to the second complaint I hear often that I also disagree with, and it's that Amazon's not bringing in readers for me. Okay. Amazon is never going to bring you readers. You can go to Kindle Unlimited if you want, where there is millions of readers already built into the platform. They're still not just going to land on your lap. You have to work for them. You have to find them. You have to bring them to your story. There's no difference on the Kindle Vella. Right now, the audience is small, sure, but we knew this. Kindle Vella said that they were going to do a slow rollout, which I believe is exactly what they did on the Kindle Unlimited when that first started. So we know we have a smaller audience to work with, and that's fine. So work hard to get what's in there and bring them to you, and bring in new readers who haven't learned about the platform and get them on there. Once Amazon does bring in readers and you start getting those millions of readers like they have on KU, there's also going to be millions of writers on there, and you're going to have less of a chance of having your story be found. I'm actually the opposite of most people. I see people being very impatient and eagerly awaiting them, opening them up to more readers. And for me, the way that I see it, there's probably millions of people in America who would check out the Kindle Vella and really enjoy it, but haven't heard about it yet. There's probably hundreds of thousands of those same people who would at least be interested in checking out my story. Whether they would keep reading it or not, I don't know. But they would at least check it out. And there's probably thousands of readers on the platform right now who have never heard of my story. I want to try and capture as many of those people as I can before they expand. I'm actually hoping Amazon takes their time. Let me build up my base and work on my story and get more credibility as an author. And then when it opens up worldwide and to more people, I can work on getting more and more readers. But for me, I'm okay with them taking their time. I mean, it's silly to me that there's a company out there. I mean, imagine what things were like 20 years ago. There's a company out there that's saying, hey, we're going to allow you to put your story on our platform. No qualifications necessary. Everyone is allowed to do this. And we will give you 50% of anything that your story makes. Plus, because we're slow rolling this out, we're also going to give you a large bonus every month just for doing this. Why would I complain about that? So as I said before, the Kindle Vella platform, I think, is a perfect place to start out as an author. I think it's really great right now. Now is the time to get in while it's the ground floor, because then you can grow with the platform. But it's not magic. You're not going to suddenly become the next big thing when you throw your story on there. That's not going to happen on KU either. That's not going to happen if you publish on Amazon, on Apple Books, on Google Books, anywhere. Barnes & Noble, doesn't matter. You have to find your audience. That's always going to be the case. Now let's talk about all the ways that the platform functions and how we can take advantage of those systems. First, we'll get into tokens. There's still a lot of confusion about tokens and how they work. I see people asking, hey, somebody binge read all of my chapters and I have plenty enough that they would be over their 200 free tokens, and I'm still not seeing any amount of money being made on those. Why is that? Well, first of all, not everyone is getting 200 tokens. Some people are getting 300, some people are getting 500. I don't know how they're working that out and who's getting what, but it seems like different people are getting different amounts of free tokens. Second of all, the amount that you make on those tokens is going to vary depending on what size bundle the person bought. There's a $1.99 bundle all the way up to a $14.99 bundle. The more you pay, the more tokens you get. So if somebody uses the $1.99 bundle and then buys some of your episodes, you'll get a little more than if somebody bought the $14.99 bundle. And you get 50% of that. On top of that, you also get a bonus from Amazon, and how that bonus functions, nobody is really quite sure right now, but we do know from Amazon themselves, I believe Virginia Milner said it in multiple interviews, that what they're looking to reward is consistency in publishing and user interaction. Those user interactions can come from reads, unlocks, likes, and faves, which is the crowns. So all of those various things play some part in the bonuses. How much of that part, no one's really sure. It seems like unlocks is the big one, but nobody can really put their finger on it exactly. And I think it will stay that way because I'm sure that Amazon is going to change that criteria in time as more and more authors come to the platform. Let's move on to crowns. I've seen people saying, hey, I had a crown and then I lost a crown, or I had a friend give me a crown, but it never showed up. What's going on? Okay, crowns are kind of become synonymous with faves, but it's not quite the same thing. Someone can fave your story for the week, and if you get enough faves, you can move into the top 250 stories. When you're in the top 250 stories, you get a crown because now you're top faved. So if you land at 250, you get that crown. If you fall out of that 250, you lose that crown. Crowns are reset at the beginning of every month, and the reader is allowed to fave your story once a week. So how much does it take to get into that top 50? Well, that varies. At the beginning of the month, it probably is very little. You could even get maybe one crown, or one fave, and move up pretty high in the charts. A couple of weeks into the month, you're probably going to need 2 or 3 to get onto that list. Amazon also does not tell you how many crowns you have, so it's pretty much guesswork trying to figure out how many you've gotten. Next up, can you take a previously published story and transfer it over to Kindle Vella? No. You can't publish anything from Kindle Vella that was in the public domain or is freely available on the web, and you also can't break down a previously published book or long-form content into episodes and then throw it on Vella, even if that story is no longer available. If it was available at one time, you cannot. You can, however, take 5,000 words from that and use it as to bridge a gap from one story to the next if you were using it as to make a sequel or something like that. You can, however, take your Kindle Vella story and bring it to other places. You can publish it simultaneously on other sites as long as it's not free. So you can publish on Vella and Radish at the same time, for example. You can also then take your Vella and publish it into ebook or even put it on Kindle Unlimited. You just have to wait until 30 days after the last episode that's going to go into your ebook. You have to wait that 30 days before you can do it. Then you can put it out in ebook or on Kindle Unlimited or whatever. I decided, I was initially thinking that's what I would do, but I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run this series exclusively on Kindle Vella for hopefully a couple years. And then what I would like to do, if it's successful enough, is turn it into a graphic novel. So it's a completely different reader experience. I think I feel kind of like I'm ripping off my readers who are following me now to then just throw it up on Kindle Unlimited when it's done. I don't like that idea. But if that is what you wanted to do, if that is the plan that you have, if you have a way to do that where you think it will really work for your readers, you absolutely can do that. Amazon does ask you that when you publish it on Kindle Unlimited, that you do let the reader know somehow, maybe put it in the beginning of your book or whatever in your product's description, say this was previously published as whatever, episodes 1 through 20 on Kindle Vella. So that way a reader doesn't spend a bunch of tokens on it and then get it again as an ebook, blah, 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 and confuse them. What length does your episodes have to be? It has to be between 600 words and I believe 5,000. For me, I like shorter episodes. I think between 1,000 and 2,000 works really well. And I think that it helps with user engagement. I think that readers are more willing to spend 10 tokens than 40 per episode. But there are plenty of authors out there that have between 4,000 and 5,000 word episodes, and they're doing just fine. So it depends on how you like to write and what you think your audience would go for. How is writing serial fiction different from writing a normal story? We could probably do 10 episodes answering that question, but I think the basics come down to having it written in a way where each episode has that cliffhangery ending, which I know a lot of people write that in their chapters anyway, but the way that it's written when you're writing in serial fiction is I think you want to kind of get to the rising action and then cut it off. It really makes readers want to click to that next episode. I think you want to be punchier, quicker to the take. You want to spend a little less time meandering than you can in a novel. And I like to write mine in these sort of arcs where you get 10 episodes or so of one sort of theme and then in the next 10 and another set of themes. So for me in my earlier ones, Winter and his daughters were trying to hold down the fort at this house that they managed to find and were trying to stay at, but somebody else came in and made a threat to that. And then in the next 10, it was a very different story with very different threats. That's how I like to do it. I think having those like 10 episode arcs is a really good way to do it, to keep the story fresh, where you can keep the episodes going for a very long time. Well, I think that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it. If you have any questions that I didn't get to answer, drop them in the comments and I will either answer them now or make another video on your questions. So thanks again. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy holidays and see you next week. I got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. I'm still supposed to interview Naomi Alt. We had to cancel our last meeting because I was sick and my family was sick, but hopefully we'll get that together soon. I'm also going to be working with Callie Chase again. We're going to do a whole video on answering your questions on self-editing. So if you have any questions about self-editing, any kind of editing questions at all, whether that's content or grammatical, anything, drop them in the comments and we'll try and help you out. Until next time, hit like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Become my friend. We'll talk. We'll hang out. We'll be buddies. Also, check out Winter's Myths on the Kindle Vella. It's my series and I really like it, and I really would like it if you liked it too. Do you guys think you could like my series? It would be so nice if you liked my series.